Good morning, dear students. Today we are again joining with our biology class. In the last class, we were discussing about sense organs and the very important sense organ eye, its layers, and some of the parts of the parts of each layers are discussed. Okay. Now we are moving into the next part. So that is also very important part. While watching the video or while observing the class, you try to note the important points, then that is to be repeated or revised after watching the video one time. So it is to be repeated. The repetition will help you to make it concrete in your mind. Otherwise, if you are simply hearing or watching one time only, there is a high chance for forgetting or confusing at the time when you are using it again. So repeat it and make it clear and confirmed in the mind. Okay, so repetition will help you to make it confirm or clear or make it sure in your mind. Then there will not be any doubt for you. So watch repeatedly and make each and every points clear to you and confirmed to you and sure to you. Okay, that much only I have to say now as the introduction to the class of today. Okay, then we can see which are the points that we have to discuss today. So, okay, children, today the first point that we have to discuss is the fluids in the eye. That is a very important part, and from there, question is asking repeatedly. So, there are two types of fluids in the eye that is clearly seen in the screen. Look, first one is aqueous humor and the second one is vitreous humor. These are the two types of fluids seen normally in the eye. There, which are the features or what are the points to remember that we can see in the next slide. Look, aqueous humor, actually it is a water-like fluid. That is the first point that you have to note. Before that, you have to note one point in each case. If you are noting the points in the notebook, better thing, you write two headings by putting some space. First, aqueous humor, second, vitreous humor. After leaving 4 or 3 lines, you write vitreous humor. Then in the case of aqueous humor, actually it is seen in a chamber. That chamber is called aqueous chamber. So aqueous humor is seen where in aqueous chamber. That is the point, or that is an important point. Aqueous chamber, aqueous humor. So easy to remember. Then the features of the aqueous humor, it is a water-like fluid. Aqueous humor is a water-like fluid and it is seen where in the aqueous chamber. Then where is the aqueous chamber? That is the next point. It is seen between the lens and cornea. In the eye, we have discussed about lens, cornea. So there is a space between lens and cornea. That space is called aqueous chamber. Then the fluid filled in the aqueous chamber is called aqueous humor. Then what is the texture of the aqueous humor? Such a question may come. Texture means how it is. So the texture is like fluid. So 3 points we studied. Where it is seen, then where is that chamber, then how it is or what is the texture. Then it is formed from the blood and reabsorbed into the blood. That means aqueous humor is formed from blood and it is reabsorbed into the blood. That is the another feature. Then its function, that is the next sentence, it provide oxygen and nourishment to tissues of the eye. Nourishment, it is a new word. If it is difficult for you, you don't study that word, but you study it provide oxygen and nutrients to the tissues of the eye. That is also correct. So these are the points that you have to note down related to aqueous humor. So where it is seen in the aqueous chamber, then where is the aqueous chamber between the lens and cornea, then how it is a fluid, water like substance, then from where it is formed from blood and reabsorbed back into blood. What is the function? Provide oxygen and nutrients or nourishment to the tissues of the eye. Everything is okay. Okay, yes. Next, second heading, vitreous humor. Then it is first we can say where it is seen. Look, aqueous humor was seen where in aqueous chamber. So vitreous humor is seen in vitreous chamber. Then where is the vitreous chamber? It is seen between the retina and lens. So here the boundary or the area that you have to note, vitreous chamber is seen between the retina and the lens. That is the space. Then how it is texture, it is a jelly like substance. Okay, I will repeat, don't worry. It is a jelly like substance. Then what is the function? It helps in maintaining the shape of the eye. It helps in maintaining the shape of the eye. Helps in maintaining the shape of the eye. Eye is like a ball, no? That ball shape is maintained by whom? The vitreous humor. So vitreous humor is seen where? In vitreous chamber. Where is the vitreous chamber? Vitreous chamber is seen between the retina and the lens. Okay, then how is or what is the texture of the vitreous humor? It is a jelly like substance. Then what is the function of the vitreous humor? It helps in maintaining the shape of the eye. These are the part related to the heading, the fluid in the eye. So I think now it is clear to you. There are two fluids, aqueous humor and vitreous humor. Related facts all we. Now the next or another important topic in our chapter, that is regulation of light in the eye. Okay, it is important, but from this part more question or question for more marks sure will not come. So just hear or just understand what is the point. Only one or two points only coming here that you have to note. Okay, regulation of light in the eye. That means sometimes the intensity of the light will be high or sometimes it will be less. So according to the intensity of the light entering to the eye is to be controlled. How it is happening? Just look at that picture. Two eye is given there. There the pupil you can see in black color. Iris you can see. First white colored sclera can be seen. Then at the center you can see the iris. At the center of the iris you can see the pupil in black color. Did you see? Just note it. Is there any difference in the size of the pupil in two eye? Yes, of course. In the left eye, when we look at the textbook, the eye in our left side, look, there the pupil is bigger. And the eye in our right side, there the pupil is smaller. Okay. So when the intensity of the light, or according to the intensity, according to the power of the light, the pupil, what will do? It will regulate or it will manage or it will adjust its size. Pupil can expand and contract, okay, according to the intensity of the light. So that thing we are discussing here. Look, change just below that first picture, you change in the pupil in dim light. In dim light, pupil size increase. That point you have to note. In dim light, pupil size increase. First you have to understand pupil means an aperture. Aperture means an opening to the eye. So that opening size will increase in which light? Dim light. Dim light means it is not powerful light. Means evening time. Evening time means by 7 o'clock or 6:30 in the evening, light will be very dim. In such time, the pupil size increase. Or when the light is less, the size of the pupil increase. But look in the next picture. Change in the pupil in bright light. If the light is bright, what will happen? The pupil size decreases. Look. So, pupil size increase and pupil size decrease. That is the change happening in the pupil. So, how it is happening? For that, just look down. There is a red colored circle, you see. Actually, it is not circle. We can simply say now as it is a circle. Anyhow, there the pupil is given as a hole. Did you see? In the first picture, the pupil is seen actually like that. And a hole around that, there is what? The iris, and there is some kinds of muscles also. So, there are two types of muscles seen around the pupil. There are two types of muscles seen around the pupil. They are called radial muscles and another one circular muscles. Radial muscles and circular muscles. Then you have to tell me first picture. Look, first picture, in dim light pupil, what happening? Pupil size increasing or decreasing? Increasing, no? So for that, which muscle is contracting? Radial muscle. So in dim light, there are two types of muscles on the pupil. But in dim light, which muscle contract? Radial muscles contract. Then because of the contraction of the radial muscles, what will happen? Size of the pupil increases. When the radial muscles contract, size of the pupil increases. That is the first point you have to study. Second, look, in bright light or intense light or powerful light, there what is happening? Look, the size of the pupil is decreased. Okay. So for decreasing the size of the pupil, which muscle is contracting? Circular muscles. You can see that in the screen itself. That's why I changed this system into this method. So look, in dim light, radial muscles contract. Then that is why what is happening? The size of the pupil is increasing. Then in bright light or intense light, what is happening? Circular muscles contracts. Then because of this, what is happening? The size of the pupil is decreasing. These are the points that you have to note down related to the regulation of light in the eye. Only, just once again I am repeating, in dim light, the radial muscles contract and size of the pupil increases. As a result, what is happening? More light enter into the eye. That point also you can add. Look, in dim light, radial muscles contract, then size of the pupil increases, more light enter into the eye. That much, that is enough. Okay. Then in the second case, what is happening? In bright light, circular muscles contract, then as a result, the size of the pupil decreases, then less light enter into the eye. When the size of the pupil decrease, what is happening? Less light only can enter. In other case, size is increasing, so more light can enter. So in dim light, more light enter. In bright light, less light only can enter. So that much only you have to study related to this. Next part, formation of image. How the image is formed in the eye. Look at the picture that you are seeing in the screen now. A tree that is watched by one eye and the image is formed in the retina. Okay. So look, the light rays passing through the cornea. There the curvature of the cornea and the lens help the rays which reflect from the object to get focused on the retina. Look, the shape of the cornea, you can see projected part. Then the curvature of the lens, that is correctly matching. So the light rays reflected from the object or tree is passing through the cornea, that it is going through the lens, then it is focusing into the retina. Related to this, only 3 points. Three dots are there in the textbook. Did you see? In the screen you can see that dots. There you have to study what are the features of the image that is formed in the eye. That point only is to be studied. Balance all is to be omitted. So we can see what are the features of the image. There you can see the image formed in the retina. Okay, can you see what are the features of the image formed here? Look, here is the image. Then what are the features of this image considering this object? This is the object, this tree. Then when the image is formed, it is like this. So what are the features here that you can see or you can note? One point you can see now itself. Then I think you may be saying it now. The tree is standing correctly. How is the image? It is an inverted image. Inverted image means what? This image is inverted, means upside down. So that you can write in your point. So features of the image formed. That is the heading for you to write. Features of the image formed. So which are the features of the image formed? The image formed are inverted. Inverted. That is the first point. Inverted means upside down. Okay. Second, considering to that tree, the image size is big or small. Or you are watching a building. When you watch a building, that image is formed in your eye. Whether that image will have the size of that building? No, never. So image will be small. Second point that. First point, images are inverted, upside down. Second, images are small. It will be smaller than the real object. Third point is given in the textbook itself. It will be real. Look, that tree, the image. It is real image, not a copy of the image. The real image is formed. Sometimes the shadow of the image will be formed. In some other cases, when you watch, when you do some experiment with the lens. But here the real image is formed. So what are the features of the images? One is real image. Second is smaller image. Third one, it is inverted image. Okay. Now we can see the nearby object and the distant object with our eye. So there will be some changes in the eye that we can see now as the part of today's class itself. Okay. Okay children, look here. While viewing a distant object and while viewing nearby objects, there are some changes in the eye. So for that, for studying that, you have to look to this part. Here you look the ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles. Then another thing, here you just look ligaments. Where it is coming, that you have to note. Ligaments. Then third part that you have to note is lens. Then these are the parts that you have to note. Just to look the ciliary muscles. That colorful part, no? Muscle. It is a part of the muscle, that's why it is given in different color. Then there itself you can see some thread-like structures. Okay. That thread-like structures are called what? Ligaments. Then lens. So when we see nearby object and distant object, there will be some changes in these three, and one more point related to this. Okay, so what are the changes happening for ciliary muscles? What are the changes happening for lens? What are the changes happening in ligaments? That is to be studied. For that, an easy method, a table is given there in the textbook itself. It will be shown in the screen, and by using that you can understand this point. So before that, you just try to understand how the ciliary muscles, how the lens and how the ligaments are connected in the eye. that is to be understand from the picture. Then what are the changes happening for these, that you can understand from the next table. Look, this is the table. While viewing nearby objects and while viewing distant objects, 4 points in each case is to be studied. Look, ciliary muscles contract when while viewing nearby object. While viewing distant object, ciliary muscles relax. Very easy to study. One is contracting, just opposite in the other case. The ciliary muscles are relaxing. Then ligaments, just opposite of the top one. In the top, ciliary muscles are contracting. But so here ligaments are relaxed. So ligaments relax. Opposite of ciliary muscles. Just to look the first line. Look, in the first line, what was happening? This is the first line. There ciliary muscles contract. This is the second line. There what is happening? These are opposite. Ciliary muscles contract. When ciliary muscles contract, ligaments relax. Okay. So just opposite of the other. Then here in the case, look, just opposite of the first column. Ligaments relax when we watch nearby object. So ligaments stretch. Stretch is opposite of what? Relax. That means this stretch means contract itself. Instead of this, you can study contract. That is also correct. Then it will be easy to study. So here ligaments relax. Here ligaments stretch. Okay. So these two are very easy to study and they are opposite of each other. Once again I will say, look, here what is happening? Ciliary muscles contract, but here ciliary muscles relax. Here ligaments relax. So here ligaments stretch, or you can study as contracting. Which one easy to you, that you can study? Or I will say in another word, 1 minute. This stretch and this contract, that is same in meaning. Okay. So look, these two are contracting. Then these two are relaxing. Very easy to understand. How can we understand? Look, ciliary muscles contract. First point. Then who is also contracting? Ligaments are also contracting. Okay, but opposite. Then in here the top and these two, first and second, they are also opposite. See, when ciliary muscles contract, ligaments relax. Here when ciliary muscles relax, ligaments contract or stretch. Okay, so that you understand by using any code. Then others are very easy. Curvature of the lens, that is the next part, that is to be noted here. Curvature of the lens increase when we look the nearby object. So for increasing we can use this symbol. I am using this one, but you can write in your textbook, increases. Curvature of the lens increases. So here curvature of the lens decreases. Okay, curvature means the circle, that circular size, that increase and decrease. When we see or when we view or while viewing the distant object, curvature of the lens decreases. While watching the nearby object, curvature of the lens increases. Here it is decreasing. Then focal length. Focal length means the distance from our eye to the object. If you are looking your neighbor's house, the distance from your eye to neighbor's house, that is the focal length. So focal length decreases when we see the nearby object, but focal length increases when we see the distant object. Distant object means it is at a distance, no? That's why focal length also increases. But focal length decreases while viewing the nearby object. Okay. Here you look. Here is also another problem. Here these two are opposite. Here when curvature increases, focal length decreases. When curvature decreases, focal length increases. So here is also opposite. So easy to remember. Okay, in the case of these two also opposite, these two also opposite, then these two and these two are also opposite. Okay, so try to understand the points related to this. So here you cannot curvature while viewing the nearby object, curvature of the lens increases, but while viewing distant object curvature decreases. Focal length while viewing nearby object decreases, while viewing the distant object the focal length increases. So these are the parts that you have to note and study today. Then look, very important parts are these. So main points is to be copied to your book, and that is only is to be studied. For that, repeatedly watch the video and try to understand the points. Then balance all we will see in the next class. Okay, study very well. Thank you. Have a nice day.